Imagine a master manipulator, not the loud, arrogant, overtly boastful type you see in movies, but someone so subtle, so seemingly innocent, they could dismantle your reality without you ever suspecting a thing. That's the terrifying power of the covert narcissist. They don't demand attention, they siphon it, slowly eroding your self-worth until you question your own sanity. You're about to discover the 7 insidious signs you're being manipulated by one, often without even knowing it. The term narcissist often conjures images of grandiosity, overt arrogance, and a blatant disregard for others. But what if the most dangerous kind operates entirely in the shadows? Covert narcissism, sometimes called vulnerable narcissism, is a stealthier, more insidious form of narcissistic personality disorder. Unlike their overt counterparts, who demand the spotlight, covert narcissists crave validation and control, but they achieve it through a cloak of victimhood, passive aggression, and emotional subtlety. They are the wolves in sheep's clothing, masters of emotional stealth. Why should you care? Because these are the individuals who can spend years in your life, as partners, friends, family, or colleagues, leaving you feeling perpetually drained, confused, and convinced you're the problem, all while they walk away unscathed, their ego meticulously fed. Their manipulation isn't about direct confrontation. It's about a slow, psychological poisoning that can take years to recover from. The danger of the covert narcissist lies in their elusive nature. They rarely present as overtly malicious, making them incredibly difficult to identify until the damage is already done. Let's delve into the 7 subtle signs that someone in your life might be manipulating you without you even realizing it. Sign 1. The perennial victim. This is perhaps their most potent weapon. The covert narcissist will consistently portray themselves as the wrong party, the one who suffers endless misfortunes, the target of everyone else's unfairness. Every conversation, every situation, somehow circles back to their pain, their struggles, their unique burden. They don't ask for help directly, but they fish for sympathy, for reassurance, for you to drop everything and rescue them. Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a clinical psychologist renowned for her work on narcissism, frequently highlights how this victim narrative is a primary tool for eliciting narcissistic supply, attention, pity, and control from empathetic individuals. You end up feeling perpetually guilty if you don't offer solace or assistance, even if their problems seem self-inflicted or exaggerated. This creates an endless cycle of obligation, where your needs are always secondary to their perceived suffering. Ever felt inexplicably guilty for not helping someone who's always in crisis? You know, the friend whose life is a constant drama, the colleague who always has a sob story, the family member who seems perpetually misunderstood? That overwhelming feeling of obligation? It might not be genuine misfortune, but a calculated tactic. The covert narcissist weaponizes their perceived suffering, using a woe is me narrative to drain your empathy and hijack your compassion. They rarely ask directly, instead painting such a bleak picture that you feel compelled to step in, diverting all attention and energy to them. But what if their suffering isn't just bad luck, but a strategic tool? Recognize this pattern. The perpetual victim stance is designed to make you responsible for their emotional state, trapping you in a cycle of guilt. Understanding this illusion is your first step to breaking free and reclaiming your energy. Sign 2. Passive aggression as a weapon. Forget overt insults. The covert narcissist prefers a softer, more insidious approach. Their aggression comes disguised as backhanded compliments, sarcastic jokes that sting, or deliberate forgetfulness regarding your needs or important events. They'll say things like, "Oh, that dress is brave. It really highlights your confidence," or "You got that promotion. Wow, I guess they were really desperate for someone, huh?" These aren't compliments. They're subtle put-downs designed to undermine your self-esteem and sow seeds of doubt. They might forget to relay crucial information to you, or accidentally miss deadlines that impact your work, then claim innocence. The ambiguity leaves you questioning yourself. Did they mean that? Am I being too sensitive? This constant low-level sabotage keeps you off balance and perpetually seeking their approval. Sign 3. Superficial empathy, the echo chamber. They are masters of mimicking empathy. When you're sharing your struggles, they'll nod intently, offer comforting words, and seem to understand you perfectly. But their empathy is purely cognitive, not emotional. They understand what to say, but they don't feel what you're feeling. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Personality Disorders highlighted that individuals with covert narcissistic traits often demonstrate a capacity for cognitive empathy, understanding others' perspectives, but a significant deficit in effective empathy, the ability to share or feel another person's emotions. This means they can parrot your feelings back to you, making you feel heard, but it's a performance. The moment the spotlight shifts from you, or when you genuinely need their support, they become unavailable, suddenly shift the focus back to themselves, or offer platitudes that lack genuine warmth. It's an echo chamber, reflecting your emotions back to you, but never truly connecting. Someone seems to understand you perfectly. They nod. They mirror your expressions. They offer comforting words that sound exactly right. You feel heard, finally. But then, when it's your turn to need support, they're suddenly busy, or the conversation swiftly pivots back to their own problems. This isn't genuine connection, it's an illusion. Covert narcissists are masters of superficial empathy. They understand what to say to make you open up, to make you feel vulnerable and trusting, but they don't feel it themselves. Their empathy is a tool, a performance designed to extract information or sympathy, not to offer true emotional support. If you constantly feel like you're pouring into an empty vessel, you might be experiencing this chilling empathy illusion. Sign 4. Covert envy and resentment. While overt narcissists might openly compete or boast, covert narcissists harbor deep-seated envy that manifests subtly. When you succeed, achieve a goal, or receive praise, they won't celebrate with you wholeheartedly. Instead, they might offer a lukewarm response, subtly diminish your achievement. "Oh, that's nice, but remember how hard I worked for my last promotion." Or even bring up a past failure of yours. Their inability to genuinely be happy for you stems from their own fragile ego and a constant internal comparison where they must always be superior. They might even engage in subtle sabotage, accidentally forgetting to mention your contribution to a project or making a passive-aggressive comment to a third party about your luck. "I never said that. You're overreacting. Are you feeling okay lately? You seem a bit confused." Have you heard these phrases and immediately started questioning your own memory, your perception, even your sanity? This isn't just a disagreement. It's subtle gaslighting, a hallmark tactic of the covert narcissist. They don't scream or accuse. They plant seeds of doubt, gently twisting your reality until you no longer trust your own mind. They deny past events, dismiss your feelings as irrational, and make you second-guess everything. This insidious erosion of your self-trust isn't accidental. It's a deliberate, quiet manipulation designed to keep you under their control. If you constantly feel like you're losing your grip on reality in a particular relationship, it might not be you. It might be them. Sign 5. The silent grandiosity. Unlike the overt narcissist who loudly proclaims their superiority, the covert narcissist believes they are special but expects others to recognize it without them having to ask. They might consistently arrive late to group events, expecting others to wait, or subtly imply that their ideas are inherently more valuable without ever stating it directly. They feel entitled to special treatment, favors, or exceptions, but they frame these expectations as natural consequences of their unique situation or superior insight, rather than a demand. They have a quiet disdain for rules that apply to ordinary people and become deeply resentful if their unspoken expectations aren't met. This grandiosity is hidden beneath a veneer of humility or shyness, making it even more perplexing when they react with coldness or passive aggression to perceived slights. Sign 6. Gaslighting and whispers. We touched on this briefly, but it deserves its own point because of how insidious it is. Covert narcissists don't typically yell, "You're crazy." Instead, they use a softer, more persistent form of gaslighting. They'll subtly deny things they said, twist your words, or minimize your feelings until you start to doubt your own memory and perceptions. "I never agreed to that. You must be misremembering. Why are you so upset? It was just a joke. Are you sure you're not overreacting?" This constant invalidation erodes your self-trust, making you increasingly reliant on their version of reality. That nagging feeling, that persistent exhaustion after certain interactions, that sense of always being confused, like you're walking through fog. It's not just stress, and it's certainly not you being overly sensitive. This is the unseen damage, the slow, psychological erosion caused by covert manipulation. Your intuition is screaming at you, telling you that something is profoundly wrong in a relationship, but because the attacks are so subtle, so cloaked in innocence, you dismiss it. You blame yourself. But that persistent sense of being drained, invalidated, and constantly questioning your reality is your body and mind's desperate signal. It's telling you that an invisible hand is pulling your strings. Learn to trust that gut feeling. It's your most powerful defense against these insidious attacks. So what can you do? First, trust your gut. If a relationship consistently leaves you feeling worse about yourself, confused, or drained, pay attention. Second, establish firm boundaries. Covert narcissists notoriously resist boundaries, often reacting with victimhood or passive aggression. Hold your ground. You are not responsible for their feelings. Third, consider the gray rock method. Become as uninteresting and unresponsive as a gray rock. Offer minimal emotional reactions, short, factual answers, and avoid engaging in their drama. This deprives them of the supply they crave. Finally, seek support. Talk to trusted friends, family, or a therapist who understands narcissistic abuse. Healing from this kind of manipulation requires rebuilding your sense of self and learning to trust your own reality again. Remember, you didn't cause their behavior, you can't cure it, and you certainly can't control it. Your only power lies in protecting yourself. Understanding the subtle nuances of covert manipulation can feel like deciphering a secret language, but it's essential for your mental well-being. Knowing these signs is your shield. And if you think recognizing these 7 insidious signs is powerful, wait until you discover the exact phrases a covert narcissist uses to regain control after you finally set boundaries, and how to effectively shut them down. That's coming in our next video. Don't miss it.